instructional part of the video. You can get tabs and backing tracks if you go to my website, www.erichaugenguitar.com. For information about the sound tools I'm using today, go ahead and click on the description box below in your YouTube player. One more thing, thank you so much to everybody who supports me in all the various ways that you do. There is now one more way which you can support me. I am on Patreon/ErichHaugenGuitar. And now to the lesson. Step 1. If we want to play that groove, my recommendation would be to capo at the 3rd fret. You know, it's basically an E blues kind of vamp. So that's just the E7, which is E if you take the ring finger out. Move up to what's really an A over E. So I am on, let's count up from the capo. I'd call that 4, 0, 2 of the G. You get that neat interplay, and then this is really E7 again, just a weird way to do it. 5, 0, 4, again counting from the capo. Okay, so that's a fun thing to groove out on. Delightful. Let me just make sure my... Okay, good. I'm not clipping on my preamp. So the idea here is we have a blues scale. We also have Mixolydian scale. Let's review that. So Mixolydian, it's the funky major. It's the major with a flatted 7th degree. 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. There's our first octave. Very Grateful Dead sounding scale. Very Jerry Garcia. Now if we start the 2nd octave, 5, 2, 4, 5, shifty shift, 3, 5, 6, 3. And this is a fun thing to do, to combine the blues with the Mixolydian. The first phrase. So that's a straight blues scale. Starting on my A string, 5, 3, 0, 5. And then I will do a Mixolydian tail. Because that's, to me, the best way I find to combine scales is to not create some giant weird hybrid scale that has all the tones. Like, what would it be? It would be like... Because my brain can't do anything with that many notes. But you start a phrase with one scale, end it with another. And then blues lick. So I'm jumping in on this 6 of the B. 6, 3, pre-bend that 5, only a half step. Great lick. So land on that 5, back to that 5, and then here is, the number one thing I recommend doing if you're trying to bring major tones, be it major pentatonic or Mixolydian, into your blues. It's dealing with this flat 3rd. This is the note that makes the blues sound sad. And so you make it sound happy by either hammering on to the major 3rd or bending up into it, which is what I do there. Only do this in major-ish keys. I wouldn't recommend doing this in minor. Again, I'll repeat that. Only do this in major vibes, because you don't, if this... Wrong. The other consideration, the number one thing I recommend for when you're trying to combine scales is this note sounds great if you're going flat 3rd up to a major 3rd. For whatever reason, doesn't sound as good the opposite, going from major 3rd down to minor 3rd. Watch, same lick. Nope, doesn't sound good, but sounds cool. I don't know why, that's how our ears work. So there's that lick, and then I jump back to an open position Yeah, because I wanted to illustrate another little principle of me that I really recommend. Anything that you can do cool up high, you want to be able to do pretty equivalently cool stuff in the open position. All my favorite guitar players are equally good in their open position as they are up high. It's a neglected zone for us guitar players because we want to... We see that and we're like, that sounds cool, but I'm telling you that the open is just as cool. So this lick. Let's look at that. That's 3 on that high E, O, 3, pre-bend this 2 here. And then we're going to come up. There's our Mixolydian. That little 3, 2 and 3 there are the Mixolydian notes. And then we're back to this 5, so then I switch to a blues run. And that's a neat kind of Hendrix trick where you think the run is over, and then it jumps to another note and falls down again. It's like oh no, we're still going. So that 5, and again I'm using chromatics, using that blue note, the flat 5 of the key, which is the 6th fret. 6, 5, 3, 5. So you got the first part, and then you immediately jump to this 6 up here and come down from there. So you get, and then I tag that little 5, 5 with that bend. So that little run, yeah, it's got a lot of attitude, and yeah, it's not too hard to play once you see what the thinking was there. You see what I did there? I just kind of picked notes and kept the run going. I would go, ah. Yeah, you just kind of pick a note and you run 4 down or 5 down or 3 down, wherever you are before you decide. It's like, I think my buddy Joe Phillips, who's a guitar teacher in Hawaii now, he has this thing he says. He's like, well, yeah, I don't know, just don't stop. Yeah, that's kind of the principle. Just don't stop. Okay, there's that lick, and then another very there's that so that lick, 3, 4 on that G string. There's that flat 3rd to the major 3rd. Jump to the 3, the tonic. Grab that 6 there, the flat 7. Nice little 7th chord lick, really. And then hopping in with this 5th fret here, which is Mixolydian note or major pentatonic. 3, and then that 6 goes up and down. Yep. That's a cool lick to work on. There's the next one where I was like, well, I'm done with this zone. I want to move up the neck because that's what we do in guitar solos. We start low and slow, we end high and fast. Greatest way to always, entertain an audience. Start low and slow, high and fast. Okay. So the next spot, that's just a standard blues extension zone. 8, 6, 7, starting on that B string. But then I bend it, just because, really, that's, going back to bringing in major tones there, either Mixolydian or major pentatonic. So that is, our 8th fret bending up. And then, what is that? So there's our G. I guess I'm back into blues, or, I'm doing a half bend on that 8, or sorry, the 10. Back to that 8. It's kind of like starts blues, and then that's kind of like a B.B. King thing. 10 on that high E, come it down. So you get that run. And then this is a straight B.B. King box lick. Fun. 10 up, down. Get this 9 here. That's a major pentatonic, really. But then, then you shift forward a little bit because now you're back to blues by shifting 9 and 10 to 11 and, 10 and 11, because now that's my flat third, my B flat. So yeah, you go. Yeah, I got that 10 there. And you know who does this? He does this, and this almost exact lick is in the solo for Angus Young's You Shook Me All Night Long. Oh, it's been a while. I don't remember it. Darn. Okay, I don't remember. It's been years since I played it. But I remember seeing him go. Yeah, he goes. Oh, and then it goes up. And I don't remember what he does after that. Yeah. Yeah, he's good. Okay, so we did that. And then, so again, I'm keeping to my principle. I'm like, I'm about almost done with this solo. I better work my way up the fretboard so that it's entertaining. So I do another B.B. King / pedal steel type thing. So I'm on the 10s here. 10, bring it down. And this is a trick I do, and you see me do this in other videos and other things. I'm like, okay, if I'm on a G, you know, that's a G. I also know that if I want to make it into a G7, I just move that idea 3 frets higher. I think I figured that out from playing around with pedal steel, actually, because I do that a little bit too. So yeah, because that's a F. You're pushing that C up to a D. It makes a G7. So there's just 13, 13, and then I'm hey, and then I'm up top with my G blues, up the octave, doing a unison bend. If you're not super great at these, some advice: death grip. You know, so completely wrapped around. So I have total leverage. Index finger on the 15, 2 fingers lined up, ring and middle on the 17, 18, and push that one up. Now, when you push up, yes, your fingers are doing it, but wrist is also pushing too. I was talking to one of my teenage students the other day. I noticed, like, yeah, bending isn't just this, it's this. The whole wrist pushes too, and that's why you get that grip. So it's kind of like, here's your hand, and the whole thing gets it. Hey, okay, I am a quarter Italian. Okay, so, and then we're grooving. And so down low, G, C over G, 3-0-3 for our G7. And yeah, this is the third principle of this, to practice this idea. I think, yes, it's good to noodle around aimlessly, but I always think it's cool to get a groove going and then practice fills. Simple fills, you know, that you can just land. It's so much more interesting to me. Yes, it's challenging, but it really develops your groove and your ability to, well, do stuff like this. Much more than putting on a backing track, which is fun, and just kind of noodling around. I think it's, and you know, it sounds nice. You'll just be chilling. Final advice. So, yeah, you know, be wary of how you deal with the flat third. And then, yeah, the principle is don't create a giant scale. Start a lick in one scale. See if you can put a trail that's in the other. Here, I'll show you what I mean. I'll start Mixolydian. Ooh, that was cool. Etc. So, I have a couple of assignments for you. Assignment 1, obviously, know your pentatonic very well, know your Mixolydian very well in all positions. Now, my way for working on that, I would really encourage you to associate it with chord forms. It's so much easier to remember than just grids and dots on a fretboard. Step 2, to practice that, I really like what you saw me do at just a second ago. You kind of get a little groove going, throw a little part of throw a little idea out, go back to the groove. Throw another idea out, go back to the groove. To me, that's way better than sort of aimless noodling, which is fun too, and I do like to do that also. And 3, the reaching principle that I observed in putting this together is really, yes, don't make some hybrid scale of everything, but really like start a lick one scale, end it another. Start a lick that scale, end it a different way. With the idea of the one thing that you're not allowed to do, maybe you can find a way to make it work, is that flat third. Sounds great going up to the major third. For whatever reason, the major third going down to the flat third is just this, other than Thus Spake Zarathustra, it's not going to sound that great. Hey Bill, maybe you can find a way to make it work. Those are your assignments. Good luck.